Hi, today we'll talk about running effective meetings. So what do you need to make sure that your meetings are effective? The first thing is a purpose. So if your meeting is happening because it's Monday and you usually have meetings on Mondays, that's probably not a good reason to have a meeting. The reason for a meeting should be to decide something. It should be to have some sort of outcome. The second reason for having a meeting is for social interaction. And that's a legitimate purpose. It just shouldn't be the only reason you're meeting all the time. And it shouldn't be confused with actually having an agenda. So if you want to have a piece of the agenda for a meeting dedicated to socializing, checking in to see how everyone is, that's legitimate, and that should be something that's stated and that everyone knows is part of the purpose of getting together. I think people will be happy to do that once in a while. But the larger portion of the meeting should be reserved for coming up with some sort of decision. So the people who attend the meeting should be better off for having spent the time to attend it. Either that means having a new direction, coming to some sort of consensus, having more motivation, any of those things where if they were interviewed at the end of the meeting, they would say, yeah, that was time well spent. That's a good reason to have a meeting. So that's the first part. The second part is having an agenda. And the agenda it doesn't have to be very formal. It can be just a document that you send out ahead of time that lets people know what you're going to cover. And if part of the meeting is checking in, that's fine. But the other part should be, we're going to decide on X, or we're going to agree on Y. And then the discussion of the meeting, the whole idea of getting everyone together at the same time, is so that people can exchange ideas in real time, see each other, brainstorm, contribute, collaborate, and then come up with something. And that something is the reason for having the meeting. It shouldn't just be to discuss something, because if you're only discussing it, chances are you will stop the discussion at a certain time, usually when the meeting is over, and then there'll be no decision taken. And if that's not a good reason then to have a meeting, people will be dissatisfied with the reason that they came. The third piece is the facilitator, who is going to be running the meeting. And I suggest that it shouldn't be the meeting owner, but you should rotate who facilitates the meeting. And there are two reasons for this. One, it gives your younger junior people a chance for leadership. It gives them a chance to run a meeting, to come up with an agenda, with input from you, of course, and to actually run their own show. The second reason is for you. If you don't have to be doing that, then you could be more silent. You can take the balcony view. You can look at the meeting from a higher point of view and to see, how are your people communicating with each other? Is it the same people who are offering their suggestions while other people aren't? And then you might want to mix that up, and that's the feedback you might want to give your next facilitator, to make sure to ask these people to engage or start the discussion with them. So that's the dual benefit. And lastly, you might want to audit your meetings every once in a while to see if they're still relevant. Sometimes a meeting is organized because of a specific project, and then it takes on kind of a life of its own, and then people start showing up to the meeting just because it's Monday morning or Monday afternoon, what have you, and they've forgotten that the original purpose for this meeting was for a specific project, and the project now ended. So if the meeting no longer serves a purpose, cancel it. People will thank you. You can always set up a different meeting for a different purpose. So I hope that's been helpful. Please let me know what your meeting habits are. You can write to me below on LinkedIn or in the comments, or check out my website at conflictyes.com. Thanks. Have a great day.